back to dual tone football. As you can see, Tanner's not with us today. He's feeling a bit under the weather, but we have, who we mentioned in the last video, Zay Butler, our editor.
Yeah, glad to be here. I don't know as much football as Tanner, so
we'll be fine. I feel like Zay definitely knows a lot. I mean, he's watched a lot of games anyways.
yeah, watch as much as I can.
So we'll start off with BYU and Utah. What was your thoughts about this game?
I think it was too close for comfort as a BYU fan, but it was also really entertaining. I said the other day that it's really, from an outside perspective, it's a really fun, entertaining game to watch. And to all the Utah fans, that penalty did not lose you guys the game. Not scoring in the second half lost you guys the game. That's all I'll say.
And if that player didn't even hold on him, you guys would be fine. So
yeah,
you guys wouldn't be complaining. And I actually did see from USC the other day that they reminded Utah of a penalty in 2022 that lost USC the game.
Oh really?
Yeah. So.
Oh.
That's karma for you guys. This game was pretty sloppy on both sides.
Very.
I mean, of course, Utah couldn't score anything in the second half. They scored all their points in the second quarter at 21. They both had a pretty good amount of rushing yards. They both broke 100. Utah almost got to 150. BYU got to 120. Utah, also what lost them is those 2 turnovers. They threw 2 picks.
Oh yeah.
And turnovers are a big factor in football.
Yep, big factor. And another big, one big factor to BYU's win was their consistency with scoring. They were able to score every quarter. Yeah,
they did. That was really good for them, especially in that last quarter. They really needed those field goals.
Oh yeah.
I'm glad they didn't take any risk, because if they failed on even one of those 4th down conversions, it would probably be Utah win anyways.
Yeah.
Utah barely,
And Will Farron's a very consistent kicker. He was 2 for 2 before the final game-winning field goal. And he was, if you saw him off the field, he was smiling before he even kicked. So yeah.
So you knew he was gonna make it anyways.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. He got what was it, free again Buffaloes, was it? I know he's getting free food for life from some local shop in Provo, which is actually awesome.
That's awesome.
But yeah, huge game. BYU got to clean stuff up before Kansas. Kansas is a dangerous team. They just upset Iowa State.
Oh yeah.
Which I don't know if it's just Iowa State that's slacking or if it's Kansas and they're just starting to wake up, but it seems more so that Kansas is starting to wake up and smell the flowers, maybe make a bowl game, but I highly doubt it with BYU playing Kansas this upcoming week.
Yeah, and there's the game last year, and I'm pretty sure BYU wants a little vengeance after last year's Kansas game.
Yeah.
So.
Kansas is always a good team. I think that could be a potential rival if Kansas upsets BYU.
Oh yeah.
That could be a new rival for BYU.
Yep, that'd be big.
So with that being said, do you want to say anything more about the Utah BYU game?
I don't have. I heard today that Brandon Rose got injured, so he's out for the season.
He's out for the season. Yeah, that's huge for Utah.
That's huge, and he was really consistent.
Yeah, I actually liked him. He was a good quarterback.
He was a good quarterback.
He was the guy that needed to step up for the Holy War for them to be in it, and I mean, of course, they weren't in it. They only lost by 1 point. But couldn't get the job done. We'll head into our next game. Georgia Tech and Miami. This is an upset.
Big upset, especially for Miami. Miami ranked number 4, I believe. Yeah. Lost to Georgia Tech. What was the score again?
23-28.
Dang. Yeah. 5-point difference.
Georgia Tech pretty much controlled this game, I feel like. I mean, both teams did well. Calvin Ward, 3 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, 25 for 39, 348 yards. But even though Georgia Tech's not the best offensive team, their defense is really solid. So when you get a team that can slow down Miami's offense, that's gonna be Miami's kryptonite this season. Is that if you give a team that can slow down your offense and just make you mess up more, they just put pressure on you, which they did all game. They put pressure on Cam more than, and you have no defense.
Oh yeah.
To defend Georgia Tech's offense, and their offense isn't the best, but their offense is able to get the job done against a Miami defense. So when this is all in play, then Miami can't really do much. That's why I kind of been feeling like they've been pretenders throughout the season. Like, don't get me wrong, their offense is really good. I really appreciate seeing like high-powered offense. It's really fun to watch, but like, if you have no defense, you can't get it done. You know?
Yeah. I didn't watch much of this game. I think I saw a couple plays here and there, but overall, I think just Georgia Tech just did a really good job against Miami. Miami, I'm not saying Miami did bad. I think they played good, but just Georgia Tech played better.
Yeah.
It wasn't a bad game from either teams.
Georgia Tech was able to take advantage of the spots that Miami. That Miami couldn't compete in.
Yeah.
Like, for example, the ground game. The team had 48 rushes for 278 yards or 71 yards on the ground. And they only threw it 16 times in this game, and they completed 11 of those passes. And so it kind of just shows Miami kind of needs to fix up all their defense. Not gonna lie.
Yeah.
So they're solid on offense, defense. Just that's what you need to win championship games. That's what you need for a championship team. And so we'll see in the upcoming weeks if they can hang with the big dogs. If they can win all their games.
Yeah.
And then they make it to the ACC championship game, play SMU, and try get into the playoffs still after that loss.
Yeah.
So yeah, congratulations to Georgia Tech though. Big upset for you guys.
Good job. I love watching upset games.
Oh, they're the best. There's been an overabundance of upsets this season. It's been fun to watch.
Oh yeah.
I love it. This is like 2007.
Oh yeah.
2007. There was. I think there was 10 different number 1 ranked teams that season.
Oh
and
yeah.
It's because they kept on getting upset week after week after week, which is crazy. I'm talking about another upset: Georgia and Ole Miss. Ole Miss was coming to this game ranked at number 16. Georgia came to this game ranked at number 3. And Ole Miss pretty much dominated this game. It was 10-28, and Georgia, their only time scoring was 7 points in the first quarter, 3 points in the third quarter, and Ole Miss, they didn't really have to. Their defense did really good. And their offense, they played really well too. They played enough to get 28 points on Georgia out of all teams. They didn't need to do too much though. Is the thing. So yeah, what's your thoughts on this game?
As far as I remember, the quarterback didn't do too well this game.
Mm-hmm.
That's a big factor as well.
For Carson Bet.
Yeah.
The Georgia quarterback. Yeah.
Yeah, he didn't do too hot this game, and that's gonna cause trouble for your offense if your quarterback can't get the ball to his receivers, and that's a payday for the defense, is they're gonna take advantage of poor quarterback choices.
Well, it was also it was poor quarterback choices, but then it was really also the wide receivers. I feel like I was switching between games, and I feel like every time I switched over, and it was Georgia on offense, I feel like at least 2 or 3 times, every drive, their wide receiver would just end up getting thrown the ball, and then he just end up dropping it, and he was open too.
Yeah, offense needs to clean things up. That's all. You need to clean things up, get things moving again, so they can do better in the next game.
Mm-hmm. And their next game is Tennessee.
Yeah,
So
that's
that's
gonna be a
dangerous.
tough one.
That's
A tough
dangerous.
one. It's a dangerous game.
Man, after that Georgia loss, they are not a lock for the playoffs anymore. Or after Georgia did lose, they're not a lock for the playoffs anymore. Them standing at number 12, which is currently, they're the first ones. Uh, they're one of the first 4 out. They're just right there looking in. And so a Tennessee win this week would be huge for them.
That would be huge.
To get back in the playoffs, but I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, this was a very like solid Ole Miss team. I feel like this game.
Oh yeah.
Georgia made a lot of mistakes, and again, Ole Miss, the underdog, was able to take advantage of those mistakes.
Take advantage.
And
roll with it.
Yeah, exactly. They're able to keep that momentum going throughout the whole game.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, Ole Miss. I feel like they look like the team that they've been talking about all off season.
Oh yeah.
Like they look like the actual team, you know.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, that's all I have to say about that game.
That's all I have.
And we'll talk about my favorite team, Hawaii and UNLV. It was 27-29. Close, ugly game. Definitely by both sides. Hawaii's defense was not able to, like, they did good. They were able to get 10 consecutive drives, stopping them on, not 10 consecutive. They did, I forgot what it was. I saw it this week. But they were able to hold UNLV to like consecutive 4 and outs or 3 and outs.
Oh yeah, yeah.
A lot in this game, but Hawaii's ground game, they gotta get it fixed because they allowed 290 yards in this game.
Oh yeah.
Which is huge.
That's big.
Were you able to see any of this game or?
No, I wasn't able to watch any of it.
Yeah, from what I saw, because I always watch Hawaii football every week. I'm hoping to go to the Utah State Hawaii game this week. But yeah, from what I saw, Hawaii got to fix things, especially in the air. He had Braden Shager. He was 14 for 35, 282 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. The 1 interception came off of the first play of the game, where he threw the ball on like a deep slant, and it just bounced right off the wide receiver's like shoulder pad and hands. Bounced up behind him, and that was the first play of the game. It was a pick.
Yeah, you never want the first play of the game to be a pick.
Yeah, or any turnover or anything like that.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Like, Hawaii did a good job after this though, because they got him to a 3 and out and only allowed a field goal. But it just kind of like for some teams it can just mess up your mindset and mentality. Mentality going into that game, it could just kill the whole mood. So we don't know if that's what happened with Hawaii or not, which didn't really seem like it affected them very much.
Yeah.
But yeah, Braden Shager, he missed so many. He threw the ball like to an open receiver 30 yards down the field like 10 times in this game, and he always overthrew or underthrew it. He only was able to get it to him twice in this game.
Yeah. Yeah, consistency with quarterbacks is also really important.
Mm-hmm.
Just making sure they can get to their receiver properly, so that there's no miscommunication or anything, as well.
Yeah. Cause consistency, man. That's what all coaches want, you know, consistent quarterback play, and he usually is. But this game, UNLV he just couldn't get that deep ball going. He couldn't get that Shaker bomb, so that was not good for them. But congrats to UNLV. They are now 7-2 in the season. Hawaii went down to 4-6. Hawaii needs to win out to make a bowl game, to get a chance to make a bowl game.
Yeah.
And with that being said, we will go previews now for next week. Or for this upcoming week. Let's start off with Kansas and BYU.
Yeah, this is gonna be a tougher game than I would hope.
Yeah.
Especially with Kansas beating Iowa State last week. But I think BYU can pull it out if they. It's a home game, right?
Home game.
Especially with it being a home game.
Yeah, and
that's big.
It's a night game at Lavelle Edwards.
Oh yeah,
and
Lavelle Edwards at night is a dangerous place.
Mm-hmm.
It's a dangerous place. That's what happened. Well, look what happened with Kansas State.
Yeah.
Lavelle Edwards at night. So
Well,
I think that's another big factor to the game, being a home game. BYU just won the biggest rivalry of maybe in the nation.
Yeah, that's definitely gonna be one of the biggest rivalries in the nation, and definitely one of the most heated games in the nation.
Oh yeah, for sure. So, BYU's coming off that high. Hopefully, we can keep that momentum going into Kansas. So I think we're gonna win. I'm not sure how much, but I think we can BYU can pull it out.
What would you say by let's go. So the spread is BYU at -3 odds. Would you say they cover that, or would you say it's just too close to call?
I think they can cover it.
They can cover that?
I think they can cover it.
Yeah. Let's hope it's not a Utah situation again.
Yeah. Well, the stadium at Rice Eccles Stadium, that was so loud, and that caused so many problems with the game. Another one. So.
Yeah, just another big factor into big games. Yeah, I agree with you. I think BYU can pull it out. I feel like they're knowing Kalani Sitake and being able to watch him over the years. Cheering on one side and also cheering for BYU more now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think BYU can pull this out. That's actually funny though. I didn't even realize both Kansas teams get to play in the Edwards Stadium at night.
Oh yeah.
So that was pretty funny too. And it does actually say that it's gonna rain this week. So who knows if that will affect Kansas' passing game or BYU's passing game at all.
Yeah. Yeah.
Next game we'll hop into Arizona State and Kansas State. Kansas State, they do really well, or Arizona State, they do really well on the ground. And for winning this game for Arizona State would be huge momentum going into their next game against BYU at home at 1:30 in the middle of the day in the Arizona sun. And so I think Kansas State, don't get me wrong, they still look good, but I feel like Arizona State, they kind of just have. I feel like they might just have too much, what is it called? They have too much momentum.
Oh yeah.
Arizona State has too much momentum. And Kansas State, they are coming off a bye week, but that was also after a loss too.
Yeah.
So, I feel like Arizona State, with their momentum, with how well their season is doing with the second year under Kenny Dillingham, I feel like Arizona State will pull off this upset at Kansas State.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I think Kansas State, they have a good chance. They have a good chance. So does Arizona State. So I think it's gonna be a really close game. Avery Johnson, he's been doing pretty good this season.
Yeah.
So, yeah, if he can help with his team, that's gonna be big. I don't think a BYU situation is gonna happen though. So, but I think Arizona State can come here and shake them up a little bit.
Yeah, definitely. So who's your ultimate pick for this game?
I think Kansas State's gonna win.
Kansas State's gonna win
by less than 10.
Less than 10. Yeah, the spread is -8 on Kansas State.
So.
Which is pretty. That's pretty high for both 7-2 teams coming into this game.
Yeah.
Which is pretty crazy to think. Kansas State. Okay, we'll see. We'll see who's right this week. And then we'll go Tennessee and Georgia. Georgia coming off a loss. Tennessee. A big loss to
Ole Miss.
Yeah, big loss to Ole Miss for Georgia.
Yeah. Tennessee's been doing good this year.
Yeah. Their quarterback though, Nico Imaliava, he was injured actually, but he was practicing with the team on, I think Monday, but not a lot is what I heard from him. Is that he was practicing with the team, not too much, to where he's putting like stress, to stress on his injury, but I think he should be fine for the Tennessee game, or for this Georgia game, but I mean we'll see how big of a factor that plays.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts coming into this game?
I think it's gonna be. I think it's either gonna be like a blowout for either team, or it's gonna be really close.
Yeah.
But I think Tennessee has a good chance of keeping Georgia kind of on the low. But Georgia could also, like, they're coming off a terrible loss. They're gonna want to show everyone that like we're not as bad as you guys think we are.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, I think it's gonna be a good game. Hopefully Georgia will kind of pick things up a little bit pick up their dust off their shoes from last week. But it's gonna be a fun game. I'm thinking Tennessee though.
Tennessee. Yeah, I like Tennessee in this game too. I think watching Georgia and seeing how much passes they drop throughout their games, I feel like Tennessee's gonna be able to take advantage of that. And Tennessee's defense is really, really solid. Like their defense is like a lot better this year compared to last year's defense. And I think their offense can get going against Georgia. I agree with you on. I agree with you that this is gonna be either a blowout or really close. Blowout for me meaning 14 plus points, or winning the game by 14 plus points.
Yeah.
And you know what's crazy though? I'm looking at the point spread right now. Georgia is favored by 10.5 coming into this game. They are playing at home, but Tennessee is ranked higher. Georgia's coming off a loss. And Tennessee's been more consistent. They beat the Alabama team that Georgia did lose to towards the beginning of the season.
Yeah, that is true.
And so, yeah, I do like Tennessee as well. Do you have anything else to say on that, or
no?
You get to move on?
Yeah, I'm gonna move on with that.
Okay, last game, Hawaii and Utah State. I know not much people have watched Hawaii this year, because I mean they're my team.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
that's why we talk about it. We always like to include our favorite teams in here.
Yeah. Hawaii and Utah State.
From what would you think of this game?
Utah State's not doing too hot this year.
Yeah, they're 2-7.
So, I think Hawaii's got this one. But unless Utah State has a miracle game, I don't think Utah State has a good chance of winning this. Every single time I hear Utah State, I think of the interception that was thrown on the first week that they played.
Oh yeah. against USC, right?
I can't. It was.
Or was it Utah?
It was. I can't remember. I think it might have been an FCS team.
Oh yeah, it was Robert Morris.
Yeah,
actually, yeah.
That was
the one-handed
interception. I think of that every single time.
Oh, Utah State ends up getting a bunch of stuff, like stuff just never goes well for them. You know?
Yeah.
People are making immaculate plays.
Yeah.
FCS team making immaculate plays against Utah State.
So, I think Hawaii's got this one. Especially, I think they've been more consistent just in general this year.
Yeah.
Especially compared to Utah State. So, I think Hawaii's got this one by at least 10 points.
Yeah. I mean, like I always say every week, that I'm not going to pick my favorite team. But at the same time, I do pick them because you guys hear my thoughts on Hawaii. And you can't cheer against your favorite team. Come on now. even if Hawaii was playing Oregon, I would still pick Hawaii, which they did last year, and they got smoked. But yeah, I think Hawaii has it. I feel like it might be closer than I would hope to be. Like Zane's saying though, or like Zay was saying.
Yeah.
I do think that they will beat them by more than a touchdown. But just knowing Hawaii, I mean, you're coming from opposite places. You're in a tropical island, but you're coming up to Logan, Utah, to play them, and it's gonna snow that day too.
Yeah.
Supposed to snow. So we don't know what's gonna happen there. I think Hawaii has it in the bag for this one though. They just gotta fix up the offense. They gotta fix up their passing. Braden Sugar has to be more consistent. I do feel like when he throws it to the inside, their wide receivers, they're good at catching it, but Braden Sugar puts so much power behind his throws.
Yeah.
Like sometimes it's a bit too much. That's why our wide receiver dropped the ball on that first play or couldn't catch it. He just put way too much heat behind it, and he put it too far behind him too. So that's why it just bounced off, went behind. But yeah, I think Hawaii got this. Yeah, I think that is it for the day. Thank you for tuning in to Duotone Football. We'll be back next week. Tanner should be back next week.
Hopefully with a longer episode.
And hopefully not feeling sick.
So.
And we could possibly have Zay back on the show if he's open to that.
Possibly. Most likely. I don't know. I'm free most days.
Okay, cool.
So.
Okay, we'll see you guys next week. Aloha.